Welcome back. I've had several people ask me about the box and private messages and a few emails about the box that I carry on the front of the bike. Let's see if I can get that. Today I'm going to take and show you what's in it. Show you what I keep, mostly tools for the bike. Also I put a new addition in just for YouTube, an inverter for run off the battery, charge camera batteries, and so on. So hang with me and we'll get it out and get it open. Some of you have seen some of the stuff I carry on the back. But anyway, water ground cover. It's a 20mm grenade case. Picked up at the surplus store here in town. Get it all laid out here so you can see it, and then we'll kind of go over it. Case and all probably weighs 25 pounds. Some of the bigger stuff, picked this up at TSC, I think, or Tractor Supply. It's a fix-a-flat micro 12-volt air compressor, small ball peen hammer, one of the cheap tire repair kits from, I think, a local convenience store. I really don't know where I got it at. 100 zip ties or cable ties. 10 feet, 15 feet of 550 cord. Also got this at, if we can see that, at TSC. It's a 1/2-inch drive and 3/8 drive heavy duty ratchet, along with the tire alignment tool on the end in case you have to pop a tire off on the trail. I see a lot of guys that carry a socket set, in which I also carry a socket set, but they get a tire bead knocked off while they're riding, and then they go to use their cheap socket set or even a good socket set, and they end up breaking a ratchet or breaking a socket trying to get the wheel lug nuts off. So I'll go a little heavier just for that. It's also a Tractor Supply Peak mobile power outlet. Put some little positive negatives I can hook right on the battery of the bike. Charges a USB at 5 amps, I think, or two 110s. I don't use the 110s much except with one of my cameras. The only charger I have for it is a 120 charger. Shop tail that I keep the power supply wrapped in. Pair of vice grips lineman tools, because sometimes you get into, depending on where you're riding, you may get into old bob wire or old woven wire that's on some of these trails that's been drug across or drug out. If you're crossing an old creek, there may be wire in the creek and you get it wrapped up around an axle. Just something you can cut it off with. pair of Robo Grip pliers, some 16 gauge electrical wire in case you break a wire on the bike and have to maybe jump over something. Just an old bank bag. I don't even know where I got that at, but flat screwdriver, Phillips screwdriver, every size wrench for the bolts that I found on the bike, 11/16, 15 millimeter, 14 millimeter, 10 millimeter, a 9 and a 12 millimeter. That fits every bolt on that bike. Also, that fits almost every bolt on Honda bike. A cheap, really cheap multi-tool. Has a really cheap blade and really cheap everything, but I use it mostly for the needle noses, and I really don't trust it in any other kit that I have, so it ended up in this one. Small flathead screwdriver to do carburetor adjustments if I have to. Another pair of needle nose pliers. Spark plug socket. Another larger 4-point screwdriver. Numerous other extensions, sockets, deep well sockets, center punch, 3/8 ratchet. Let's see. What else? I think that's all from the box. But we will switch over to what's left on the bike. GoPro Mount. Oh, let me show you something here. The way this box works is it has two latches. There's one on each side. One opens the left side and one opens the right side. They're pretty bulletproof. Also, there's a rubber gasket in there that keeps the water out should you have to do some water crossings. As you can see, it locks down. You can run a zip tie through there, or whatever you want to put through it to hold it. But if you can see these little cutouts right here, that fits. I just put 3 angle iron pieces of aluminum to the bike. That way when it sets in, it locks in. It can't go anywhere far side to side. This is just some bungee cord that I took and just wrapped around the rack. Put 2 zip ties on it and zip tied them down. Oop, I don't know if I can do this and hold it. Let's see. Cheap carabiner with 2 zip ties. That pretty much holds everything on there. Actually, I've got it on backwards. Let's try this again. Head on upside down. I took my Dremel, and if you can see the notches, there's 2 notches right here, one here and one here, and that just lets the bungee cord have a place to rest, and it's not going to slide around, it's not going to come off. Down here, I just took a heavy piece of ratchet strap, the heavy duty ratchet strap, wrapped it around it, put a water knot in it, put an Omega rescue carabiner on it, locking carabiner, and instead of pulling on the center bars, which as you can see have been pulled on before, you're pulling on the whole front end, where you're not pulling in one spot. My tow rope, is from TSC. It's just some polypropylene. It floats. Rope. Tensile strength is 2100 and some pounds, 2140 or something. The way this stuff is designed, I'll show you here, it's easier. If you crinkle it up, it's hollow centered. You can take and get a screwdriver and punch through it and then weave it back on itself or through itself. And then I just took some 550 cord, stretched it tight, tied it off, cinched it down. That way whenever you go pulling on it, it pulls it down on itself tight. It's self-tightening. It's never come out yet. And I've pulled some big bikes and UTVs out with it. What else? I've got everything pulled out of the box. Knee pads. Thanks guys, I appreciate you watching. I don't know how many more videos I can do on the bike. There are rides coming up that I may take and put on YouTube. Just family rides mostly. If I do any camping off the bike, I'll probably take and record part of them. Also, usually during the summer, I'll take nothing but what's on the bike and spend a couple weekends out just riding random places and then stay overnight and come home. And I'll probably take them and put them on just for the survival aspect of it, I guess. Alright guys, that's what I carry on the bike. Leave any comments or ideas that you've seen. If you liked it, let me know.